Bitcoin hoodie guy coming back with another Caspa video. Before we get into it, could you please Mike Tyson the like and subscribe button? All right, haven't did a live stream in a while. You can see Caspa up 1%, hanging around 13.1 cents. Green candle doesn't hurt my feelings at all. KRC20, some are blowing up, like Casper's up 20%, up to a $22 million market cap. Conan up 85%, Caspi up 71%, CastJack 66%, Popcat up 65%. I know that the guy Brandon that talked about that in the live chat a couple weeks ago got mad because I didn't talk about it, but he was right. It's up to $830,000 market cap. Some other ones, what's cool too now on here on cast.fyi, you can go down and see what markets. So you can see that Nacho, the volume on CoinX, Pinex, Casperbot change. So that's cool. It's kind of like we got our own little coin market cap. So that's pretty cool. Hoodie, it's $6,600 market cap, 168 holders. Should I try to make like I just don't have a lot of time. If I should make its own X account or something. It's kind of more of a fun experiment that I didn't even think people were going to mint out. But hash rate 1.21 exahash. Caspa still number 3 on the proof of work. Then this is excluding the fees that are on top of the Coinbase rewards. So it's still hanging there. Doge has really went up in price, so it's kind of 2x. And for the most part, Caspa has been over $1 million with the price down though, 900,000. Here, Binance Pool, I haven't been checking on that, but it's still kind of around 80, 78, 80 petahashes, still at the number 4 spot. I think they still have 0 fees for the time being. And so is Caspa inevitable? We'll talk about that in a minute. It's kind of interesting because I don't know if you've ever watched Dream Crypto, and he's very, confident in what he believes. And I was just curious. I remember seeing the video he made a few months ago about the political narrative. And so it was on August 1st. MAGA at that point, I think, was around $5 or something on August 1st. And, so he was talking about how it's kind of, before the hype, sell off before the hype, and then the election happens, price goes down. I was just kind of curious. I don't have MAGA or anything like that. And so it was around $5 at the time of this video. He's kind of highlighting it goes down to something like 3 or 4 and then up. And so I don't know if it's going to pump or not. It's so for that video, it was at $5. It went down to about $1.75 or $2. It's been up to over $5, but it's the last day it's down 2.5%. It's kind of that $4. It's just curious if it's really gonna be a big pump the next 2 weeks. But it's also about how you can have a sound thesis in crypto and it just doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to work out. And it's interesting with the World Liberty Finance, the Trump project, that they're trying to sell 20 billion tokens at 1.5 cents. According to the United States, you're supposed to be an accredited investor. Maybe there's a way to go around that, but they've only sold about 900 million tokens, which I think is like $13-14 million or something. So there's limits to, I don't know, you just never know. Like you can't even trade it. Maybe you can never trade it or transfer it, but at least in the first 12 months. So not a lot of people are looking in this bull run to lock a bunch of money up in something like that. But if you're curious, at least according to Polymarket, Trump's got about a 60% chance to win. Some people think that maybe just the election being over and certainty might help some investors. So we'll see. It all ties into Caspa. So is it inevitable? One reason why I think a fixed supply proof of work that's decentralized is because, and I've talked about this a lot, but is the debt, which is getting out of control. And I don't know if anyone's going to be able to stop it. Any administration, there's going to have, there's just spending right now 1.8 trillion on Medicare, 1.5 trillion almost on Social Security, 936 billion on defense, and 972 billion on just the interest alone. Whether this is going to be accurate or not, but these guys are projecting it out to be like massive on the next election, where it'd be 4.2 trillion interest on debt, 1.5 defense war, 2.1 trillion Social Security, 2.4 trillion on Medicare. you look here, this is, and I've showed it before. I think this is just fascinating that you can look back to the U.S. debt all the way back to 1790. You can typically see that when there's wars, it goes up. In the 1830s, they're actually able to pay it off around 1835 or 1836, and then the Civil War, it really went up to billions of debt. Then World War One, it shot up more. Once World War One happened, it shot up more. World War Two, it shot up more. And then, we had Vietnam War and stuff. We went off the gold standard, but it's just, it's up to 35. This is of 930, the last fiscal year. You can see that it's just getting out of control and it's just going parabolic. So right now the dollar's actually kind of been strengthening the last month or so or two, but eventually it's going to start weakening. And so another point is that the governments don't care about you, and a lot of us know that. But when they tested the first bomb and the Trinity, when they're testing the first atomic bomb, downwind there was a bunch of girls that were like in some summer camp on a camping trip, and they, there was Barbara Kent and 11 other students, and they're in their bunk and they got thrown out of the bed with the blast. And then later they're swimming, and all the ash that was coming down, the fallout from the nuclear blast, they thought was snow, but it was summer, and then it's hot. And they're like, well, it's just hot snow because of summer. And they're like playing around with it and all this stuff. And out of the apparently only one, she's the only girl that lived past 30 years old. And then in the United States, in Hanford, where they had part of the operations for, making the plutonium, the production facility, they wanted to learn, and it's called the Green Run. And they did this in 1949 on December 2nd and December 3rd. They wanted to learn how to detect that the Soviet, how to learn how to detect the radiation, so they could try to figure out how to see if the Soviets were testing weapons. And so they intentionally released radiation for a couple of days, and it got onto the grass and cows and stuff. And also the making the plutonium for the bomb, they basically threw out a lot of the safety regulations. It might even have been DuPont Corporation, whatever corporation was subcontracted to do a lot of the work there in Hanford site. They had a lot of safety regulations thrown out because they're just trying to get so I guess it just circles back. How does Caspa fit into this? Well, it's a decentralized proof of work, and with KRC20s, it's proven how fast the L1 can go, and that's going to get upgraded next year, where basically it could be the internet latency can, be restrict how, it's basically how fast it can go is based off that. Right now, it's just 18, 20 transactions per second. When the minting was hot and heavy, I saw that 500. I think it maybe even got up higher, but definitely around 300, and we go up to 10 blocks per second. Then that could get to 3,000 transactions per second, probably, flexing to 5,000 to maybe even 10,000 transactions per second. And so at the end of the day, the one reason why I brought up this dream video was to highlight another point, is that, you can have a good thesis. He had a good thesis that, like, hey, there's the Trump coin, the MAGA's the top one. This thing should really be pumping. And, it really went from $5 down to $1.78, back up to the $4 range, up to $5. And maybe it'll pump the next couple weeks. I don't know. But just because you have the solid thesis that proof of work, decentralized and secure is going to win out, because this doesn't mean it's going to play out exactly that way. And there's also two different things at play. There's what's going to happen with Caspa this cycle and trying to take profit next year. And then there's beyond. And so, more people are starting to distrust government. There's a few amount of people making decisions. There's how many people are making decisions, and did they go warn everyone in the immediate area that they're going to test this nuclear bomb? No, they didn't. This is top secret. So, some of these people are just collateral damage. And at the end, there's a small amount of people in the government's making decisions. So it wouldn't hurt if money was decentralized and no one nation, state, or corporation controlled it. They might be able to spin some narratives to try to push the price up and down sometimes, but they can't print more. And if you look at the debt for the United States, it went up in pretty much wartime, and you'd have to go back in the 1800s and chart the wars. But you can see the Civil War here at the 1860s. It went from like $60 million debt up into the billions, and then here at World War One, you can see we're just at 2 billion. Then all of a sudden, World War One, it's all of a sudden it's in 25 billion debt. World War II, all of a sudden now we're in the couple $100 billion debt. And then since we went off the gold standard in the United States, the debt has just been going crazy. There's been lots of wars. Obviously since 2001, there's been, almost wars the entire time. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Win Lambo, please. Hopefully next year. Good morning, Nacho and Casper on fire. Yes, they are. The Caspi's on fire too. Let's go check a look at that. So that's it. I think that I have Bitcoin and Caspa. I think a decentralized proof of work. It would be good for humanity, and I think there'll be winners. And but there's also lots of winners here. I'm up a little bit, maybe 7,000 Caspa on my KRC20s, and I didn't put that much in, but I know some people that are up a lot. And I know some, I've seen a couple comments of people that have lost. You can see Popcat's back up to 950,000. Caspi's up to 18 million. So really, Nacho, Casper, Caspi, if anyone minted those, they're up big time. Bert, I know that I saw Bert, last week, and now it's up to 7.2 million. So if you can get in, Somps is back to 700,000. There's a lot of these are tearing it up. You can go check and see like Caspi. It's basically on CoinX doing $200,000 volume, Casper bot. So I think it's exciting, whether you're playing around in the KRC20 casino or not. There's a lot of people making some money. Somewhere there's got to be someone, I guess it's not completely zero sum game. If you buy Nacho now at a $70 million market cap and it goes up to $200 million, then the seller, and the buyer can make money on that. But it's a big giant casino right now. And so, I've seen some people do really well, some people are probably making hundreds of thousands of Caspa. I don't know. Casper did a 100x already. That's true. Yeah. Yep. So I guess that's all I got. Just a quick video, basically just kind of looking at a couple things going on KRC20 land, hash rate. Binance is still the number 4 pool. You can have a solid thesis. Maybe it doesn't work out. They tried to get quite a bit of money. They tried to raise about $300 million with this World Liberty Finance. Just no one in crypto is really buying it. No one wants to lock their money up. And when you look, the elections will be over here in a couple of weeks. But the national debt in the United States is not going anywhere. And it's probably just going to keep going parabolic. And the government doesn't care about us. And I think a decentralized proof of work is the future. So we'll see. Thanks for watching and have a good day.